Hello, good morning. Greg Wilson, owner and publisher of Connections, Small Business Journal. All right, so it's literally like 7 o'clock straight up on September the 14th, and I've been awake since like 4:30. All right, before the alarm went off, I've been awake and just literally laying down, thinking about stuff, analyzing stuff. And before I realized it, it was look, it's 7 o'clock, man. I hate that state of inactivity. Yes, I realized that I was thinking, I realized that I was analyzing certain situations. I was looking at my life, my business, my aspirations, things that I want to do, things that I want to accomplish. But 2 hours went by and I hadn't produced anything. So today, you know what? To strike back against this force, this tranquilizing force, I'm going to do something today that I thought about doing for over a month, well over a month, and that's what's coming up next. Why? Because I'm pissed at myself, so I'm going to pay. All right, we're rolling here to the first stop of the day, and yes, I'm actually late. Why? Because having been up since literally 4:30 this morning, just stuck, if you will, in my head. Crazy, and I'm a little perturbed at myself, a little bothered with myself for just the inactivity that took place between my eyes opening up and my hands being on the steering wheel. All right, just lost in thoughts, lost in what ifs, lost in how-tos. All right, I was reminded of two things as I was getting ready after I recorded that first little bit about just basically saying, how ticked off I was with myself. I was reminded of a video that I'd seen several months ago by an individual who I definitely follow, and I encourage you to follow him as well, Gary V. If you're not following this guy, I encourage you to do so. So many things that he says are memorable. I follow him. I don't watch him every day. But one thing that he stated that stood out with me a while ago, months ago, and that was just to freaking do it. He didn't use the freaking word. He used another word, but just do it. All right. And so here I am as a result of feeling what I felt this morning, feeling like, man, you know what? There are some things that you want to do, some things that need to be done. But this morning, I didn't do anything. I just thought about it, and after freaking 2 hours of thinking, nothing had been produced. So guess what? I am going to do what this individual that I follow, Gary V, said do, and that's to just do it. First stop of the day. Very important stop. All right, in dire need of a haircut, going in to the barber shop here in Columbus, Georgia. My boy Nate right there. Nate, say what's up, man. My barber right here. B.
Love, baby. Barbershop love, baby.
Barbershop love right here in Columbus, Georgia. Let them know your name, man.
Flex, man.
Flex, right here at the barbershop in Columbus, Georgia. I'm coming in like this, and I'm gonna leave tight.
this morning started out with me recording that very first video. Again, I've been up literally since like 4:30 this morning, and laid there just thinking, lost in the thoughts in my head of what I had to do today, thinking of my future, thinking about the future of my business, thinking about, all the different things that I needed to do, thinking about what if situations, and what if this happened, and what if that happened, and what about this over here, and that back there, and that's up in front of me, just thinking. And literally from 4:30 till about 6:30, when I finally just like, what the heck? And I recorded that video close to 7 o'clock. There was absolutely no productivity that took place, none, outside of the thoughts that were going on in my head. And that frustrated me. And I've already stated this earlier, the earlier portion of this video, that, today I said, bump it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Those things that I have talked about, this video specifically will be the introductory video of a show that, quite honestly, I've been thinking about for well over a month. Right now, I'm sitting, very, very busy day today, different meetings all across the city of Columbus, and here we are now. It's 4:45 o'clock. Yes, I was able to get the haircut, the whole 9 yards, and network even with my barber and the barber shop there in Columbus, or here in Columbus. But this is very important, okay? How do we, and I'm guilty of it, okay? I'm guilty of it, and quite honestly, it is quite honestly the motivation for this particular video. How do we get to a place that we can stop ourselves from overthinking? And there's some people watching this video right now that know me. They're like, okay, well, Greg is finally getting it. How do we stop ourselves from overthinking? How do we stop ourselves from overanalyzing? Because what I am finding like every single day, is that the more we analyze, the more that we think about particular situations, the thought process and the analyzing of a particular situation, honestly, can lead to no productivity at all. Why? Because you're thinking about it. I remember as I was growing up, individuals would be talking about, cleaning the house. They're literally laying in bed thinking about, maybe it's early on a Saturday morning, and they're thinking about cleaning the house. They're thinking about, the dishes that need to be done. They're thinking about all the places that they need to go, the work that needs to be done. And then I've heard it said, literally, I'm tired. And guess what takes place? The house isn't clean, the dishes aren't done, the shopping that one might have needed to do does not get done. Why? Because you literally wore yourself out by thinking. The fact of the matter is that we need to be productive, we need to produce content, we need to be about our business and all these different things. So how can we stop ourselves from overthinking? How can we stop ourselves from overanalyzing a particular situation? So really quickly, these videos are going to be very short and sweet. I want to talk about 4 things. 4 ways and 4 things that we can do to stop ourselves from overthinking. The very first thing that I want to mention is that awareness leads to change. This morning, as I laid there, all I did was think. I analyzed. I looked at things from all different levels, all different perspectives, and wasn't productive at all. All right. So having made myself aware of that now, I can lead to change. And many of us have heard, well, the first step into getting help is admitting that you have a problem. I'm admitting in this video that I have a problem with overthinking. I'm admitting in this video that I have a problem with analyzing situations entirely too much. So awareness can lead and does lead to change. All right. So be aware that you are overthinking a particular situation. I'm not saying not to think at all. I'm not saying not to or to analyze at all. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you find yourself hours into analyzing, hours into thinking with no productivity, you may, my friend, have a bit of a problem, especially, if this thought process and this analyzing process is over the span of weeks, months, and still nothing has taken place. All right. The video that I'm recording today, maybe not necessarily the topic, but the concept of it, I said I was going to do it over a month ago, 2 months ago almost. All right. And I'm literally just now doing it today. Why? Because I've been overthinking, I've been overanalyzing this particular thing. All right, so number 2, again, we're only discussing 4 things. So number 2 is think of what can go right versus what can go wrong. In relationships, relationships are known, especially new relationships, right? You meet someone new, maybe she likes you, you like him, and we think about what ifs. As a matter of fact, there's a country song that Kane Brown sings, "What If?" All right. Let's not think of the what ifs, especially the negative what ifs. All right. Life is negative in of itself. All right. So let's think positive. Let's have positive thoughts, and let's think about what can go right. One of the very first things that we think about when someone is even considering, starting a business, doing a startup, stepping out on faith, if you will. The very first thing that comes to mind is not how much money I can make, not my level of happiness. What happens a lot of times is we start out the gate thinking about what could go wrong. I'm not going to have enough money. This one is going to look at me this way, or that one is going to think this about me, or they down there. Forget all that. Let's think about what can go right versus what can go wrong. All right, that was number 2. Number 3, change how you see fear. I'm going to repeat number 3. Change the way you look at fear. For me, many times, and I found this to be true, as a matter of fact, I've spoke about it as a guest speaker at different places. I've talked about that fear, quite honestly, can be a tranquilizer. Fear is, in many cases, a tranquilizer. All right, but we're going to have to change how we see fear, change how we look at fear, change how we view fear. And we'll find that once we do that, once we give fear, once we take a different look at fear, we can deal with it a lot better. I've gotten to a place as a man that I'm really not afraid of anything. Okay, I'm willing to jump out the airplane. I'm willing to jump off the cliff. I'm willing to take a chance. I'm willing to step out. All right. Now, if I hurt myself in the process, so be it. But one thing that we'll find out is that, that Greg wasn't afraid. He did it. All right. He didn't talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. You know what? He looked down range and he pulled the trigger on it. All right. All right. So change how you look at fear. Fear, again, can be a tranquilizer, and you'll find yourself, 30 days, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, petrified, have an awesome idea, but petrified, and 5 years later, a year later, 6 months later, you'll find that someone else has done the very exact same thing that you have talked about doing all this time. Why? Because you've been stuck in the valley of fear. Change how we look at fear. And the last thing is place things into perspective. Place things into perspective. We all have a lot to do day in and day out. We have meetings to go to. We have social media posts to do, website updates, customers to meet, clients to greet, all these different things. We have a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. And one thing that we have to realize is that we can only handle one at a time. I have been guilty. I'm just guilty of a lot, you say. But I've been guilty of just being inundated with stuff and feeling like I can't breathe, feeling like, man, I got to do this, and this, and this, and overwhelmed with 10 things, and nothing gets done correctly, or nothing gets done with 100% of myself involved and focused in on that particular task. So we have to think and keep things in perspective. All right, prioritize what's important to you. What's important for this time frame? What's important for today? Because, believe it or not, all of it may not be important today. Is there something that's on your plate right now that quite honestly can wait and be accomplished 2 or 3 days from now? I guarantee that it is. I guarantee that it is. All right, because everything has a value. And one thing that we need to do is put things in perspective, associate a value with it, quantify that, and address it properly. So those are four things that we can do to stop overanalyzing, stop thinking so much. Again, the very first one is awareness. All right, so the very first step in correcting your problem is admitting and being aware that you have a problem. All right, being aware. Awareness leads to change. Number two, think of what can go right versus what can go wrong. Change the way we look at the what ifs. All right. Number three, change, and this is probably the most important one for me personally, is change how you see fear. Change the way you look at that fear. All right. Fear can be a tranquilizer. Fear can, you can be petrified so much that you do absolutely nothing. All right. When people are afraid, even naturally, it freezes them up. Why? Because your brain is processing the fear aspect of it as opposed to, maybe a survival piece. All right. So change how we see fear. Attack fear face on, dead in the face, and deal with it. And the final thing was place things into perspective. Place your to-do list. Place the task that's before you into perspective. All right. So this is Greg, and again, this video was motivated by me realizing, hey, you know what? I wasted 2 hours just simply thinking. When I was 2 hours that could have been that could have been more or better spent, I should say. Writing a blog post or writing an article. Sending out my weekly e-newsletters. All right, but you know what? My head was on a pillow. My eyes were open, staring at the ceiling, thinking. Not good, not good, not good. This has been Greg Wilson. Connect with us online. Find us on social media. Follow us at connectmybizz. Again, that's at connectmybizz. The @ symbol, connectmybizz. That's BIZZ. Follow us on our website. Go to our website, even right now, www.connectmybusiness.me. Connect with us. Be connected to people, resources, and information. And this is the inaugural video, all right, of Connect Daily. This has been Greg Wilson. Until next time, stay connected. We'll see you soon.